Next up on the schedule, we have an exciting panel all about how to scale while staying true to your mission. And to lead the conversation, I'd love to introduce you to our moderator, Kristen Kenny. She is kind of a jack of all trades. Former NBA sideline reporter, reported at the Olympics in London, also a small business owner, and the creator of a grassroots movement called Malika for Life. Buy a bracelet, save a life. Kristen, lovely to have you. And we can't wait to meet our amazing panelists. Take it away.
I know this is so great. I'm going to start. Thanks so much for having me, Jules, and for everybody being here today. I'm really excited about this because I think it's a topic that it interests me as a small business owner. I own 2 small fitness studios here in Utah, but the topic of scaling business while staying true to really your authenticity as a brand and uniqueness. And so there's a lot that we're going to learn today from our amazing women and the companies that they represent. And I just do want to say that I am recovering from bronchitis, so I may have to mute at times so that you don't hear my cough. But all right, now let's just dive in because we only have 30 minutes. So I'm going to start first with introducing everyone, sharing a little bit about their story and their brand. And then we'll go back around and follow up with some questions that I have. So I think I'm going to start first with Melanie Bender, who is the founding president of Versed. Hi, Melanie.
So hi, it's so great to be here.
Yeah, it's so great to have you. And let's just start first briefly with a little bit more about you, your brand's mission. And I understand you have a very interesting initiative with the White House coming up.
Yeah, so I'm Melanie. I am the founding president of Versed, where our mission is to make clean skincare for everyone. And, really, I'm in the incredible position of being a democratizer in clean skincare. When we started to get the brand together 3 or 4 years ago, it was clear that, there is an incredible future in clean skincare, so much interest and excitement in being a values-driven brand and category. But it was really something that at the time was for kind of the chosen few who had high access, high income, and a lot of time to be Googling ingredients. And for us, we really wanted to break it open for everyone. And that's what we've been doing for the past 2.5 years. We are now in 3,600 stores globally, which is crazy. Everything we make is under $25. We're climate neutral certified. We formulate to EU standards. And we just love welcoming people into the movement. You alluded to Code Red for Climate. Climate is really, really important to us at Versed and to me personally. And this last week, we had the privilege of being able to lead our industry in climate action. With Code Red for Climate, we, together with 200 other brands in beauty and wellness, blacked out the beauty industry for a day and used that footprint that we occupy to mobilize critical action for climate, using the voice that we have as business leaders to advocate our lawmakers to take action now, and then inviting our communities to join us in that action.
Wow. I mean, so impressive. And that's a dose of what we're getting all day here with Founder Made, because so many amazing women. And thank you so much for sharing. We're going to come back to you, Melanie, with more. I want to keep this going and introduce our next strong female. We have Chandra Cooks, head of marketing at Mented. So tell us a little bit about your brand's mission.
Sure. So hello, everybody. So yes, I am the head of marketing at Mented Cosmetics. Mented was founded, it'll be 5 years in January, by KJ Miller and Amanda E. Johnson. And really it was founded on the premise of nude lipsticks for women of color, because pink is not a nude for everyone. And I told the ladies before when we had our little chat that I like to repeat that. Pink is not a nude for everyone. And so whereas that's how we started, 9 nude lipsticks, we now cover all color cosmetics categories. And we believe that no one should be an afterthought in the world of beauty.
I love it. Way to go. All right, let's keep it going. We have Nisha Karna, North America president of Frank Body. So Nisha, take it away. Tell us a little bit about you and your brand.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me. Frank Body is about 8 years old now. It was actually founded in Melbourne, Australia. And I love to share a little bit about the founding story because it's quite interesting. One of our founders was actually a cafe owner, and he had women coming into the store and asking him for the leftover coffee grinds at the end of the day, usually something you just throw away in the bin. But turns out that coffee has a phenomenal effect on the skin. It literally wakes up your skin in the same way it wakes you up first thing in the morning. And from there, the brand was born. We had a lot of great success early on with Instagram and literally sending out packages from the backyard. And that's where the brand grew from. I've been leading the charge in North America for the last 4 years. We've been really trying to make headway over here, but we still sort of stay true to the same principles of great natural skincare inspired by the coffee story and what caffeine does for your skin. And that's kind of where we've grown from.
That's so cool. Thank you so much, Nisha. Melody Reynolds, CEO and founder of Elate Cosmetics. You're next.
Hi, hey everybody.
Hey.
It's so nice to be here today. My name is Melody and I founded Elate Cosmetics just over 6 years ago. And I really started our business with the vision of a world without single-use packaging. That's something that we're really passionate about here at Elate, and it permeates every single thing that we do. Our mission is really to educate, empower, and inspire everyone to simplify their daily beauty rituals to help us reduce waste. And, as a carbon neutral certified company, it's so important that we can help share that message. I'm so thrilled to be here with all of these brands that I know are doing such amazing work, and really looking forward to this conversation.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. And last, we will go to Christine Campbell, Director of Product Development of Summery Blend. Christine, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
There we go. Gotcha.
Okay, hi. Thank you so much for having me. It's really an honor for us to be a part of this. I think we're the baby of the group here. We just launched this past year, and our mission is plant-powered personal care for everyone. First and foremost, the most important thing in our brand is our product. And we started out with 3 products, 3 active body care essential products that are really designed to just deliver small moments of self-care and joy to your everyday routine. We have an all-natural deodorant, a clarifying body mist, and a muscle gel roller ball. And we want to translate sort of these ordinary moments and ordinary products of just little moments of me time, whether that's swiping on your deodorant, or misting yourself or giving yourself a massage with our muscle gel. We know everybody's busy and we're all moving at a very rapid pace these days and can't always get to the yoga class or soak in a bubble bath. So we kind of made these everyday products to be as innovative and sensorial as possible. From the color and the texture and the scent and the packaging design, we wanted to have it stimulate all of the senses. And yeah, we're excited. Our Summery, it's all about less is more, keeping things simple when it comes to ingredients and products and ritual. And yeah, that's about it. We're excited to be here.
Well, I'm excited that you're here too. And for everybody, I mean, you could tell listening that these are brands with wonderful missions. And I think that it's so great to get into this panel because you get to a point in business where it is time to scale, but yet you want to stay true to that mission and make sure it's not compromised. So I want to talk to each of you a little bit about that and what's important to you and your brand. And we discussed this earlier on another call. I know, Melanie, I do want to start just with you because you scaled big time with Target. And what's the most important thing that you learned during that time in staying true to your mission?
Yeah, and we did. I mean, we launched with Target and all doors with them, going from a startup to 1,800 stores is a pretty massive way to scale. For us, a brand that is about accessibility and bringing more people into the movement, it was the right way to do it. Scale was the MO from day one, because really we recognized that that's what was missing, that we had to break down barriers and bring these clean products, these ingredients that are great for your skin, great for your body, better for your planet, make those everywhere that skincare is sold. So, I think, always having that end goal in mind is so important, because how you build a brand, the manufacturers you choose to work with, the pricing strategy you'll set, the partners that you bring into the mix, those will look very different depending on your ambitions of scale. So I think thinking about that early and often is a really fantastic way to go. And I think something that worked really well for us is working with partners that are aligned in that mission, that vision that we have for the world. And Target is an incredible force within beauty. And I will say here with every bit of honesty that I believe they have done more than anyone in the US to make clean beauty, clean products, the mainstay that they are now. By no means were they the first retailer to do that. Of course, there's the Credo Beauties and the detox markets of the world that have really paved that way. But when Target gets behind something and puts their clean seal on it, puts it in within 10 miles of so much of the US population, that is huge. So for us, I think it starts with, as you're looking at who you want to partner with, understanding what's important to them. Where do your goals align with? I have always chosen the partners that have the most enthusiasm for the brand, are the most keen to lean in. If you're in a meeting with a partner and you're having to pitch them hard and they're reluctant, it's not going to work. They're not going to be excited about you 1 month, 6 months, 2 years down the line. So I think really bringing partners into your mix that are excited about what you're doing and share that mission is a really critical point of scale, because it lets you build that flywheel, that momentum, so that as you're putting in another dollar, as you're taking another move, it has these exponential returns for the brand and what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, you mentioned, just staying true to your mission. And I think a lot of that, you can sum it up with owning who you are as a brand and really owning it. And Melody, you use that word. You talked about corporate responsibility is so vital for your brand and something you're very passionate about. Can you just elaborate more on that for everyone?
Yeah, thank you so much. It's so funny, Melanie and Melody. I'm like, is she talking to me or is she talking to
I'm a little with the sickness too. It's hard to tell.
I'll try. No, it's okay. I had an experience a number of years ago. I started my career as a professional makeup artist, and so was using lots of products, and that was how I made my living. And so choosing products that were more conscious for me was difficult because, of course, there was a cost involved. And, even 10 years ago, I purchased a lipstick product, and you unwrap it and you basically have a pile of garbage in front of you that you are now responsible for disposing of. And I had this epiphany in that moment, that moment, that pivotal moment that something shifts in your life. And I thought to myself, what would the world look like if the company that created this pile of garbage, because I didn't create it, it just happens to be sitting on my table because of the product that I bought. What would happen if the company that created this pile of garbage was actually responsible for disposing of it? Because, me as a professional, me as a consumer, I am now responsible for trying to make sure that this gets to the right place. And at that time, I had no idea what the garbage recycling composting industry was like. I have a much better idea now. And that's why the education piece is so important to us at Elate. It's how we connect with our customers, because I don't ever want anyone to have that feeling that I had, that sinking pit in my stomach, sitting at my table with this big pile of garbage in front of me. I often pose the question when we're talking with our partners, how different would the world look if McDonald's had to pay a fee for every single piece of litter with their logo on it that we found in the streets? That would make a huge impact, not only in how our cities and neighborhoods look, but on climate change in the world at large. And so corporate responsibility for us is about taking responsibility for our end of life of our products, if there is one, taking responsibility for the education of our customers, if there are things that they are going to have to do at the end of our product's life, but most importantly, bringing them on the journey with us through all of the mistakes that we make, trying to be better and do better. And it's that transparency that not only has allowed us to grow, but I think will allow us to really change the world. And having our customers with us makes them identify with our mission. It makes them love our products because, of course, when they open their lipsticks, they aren't making a pile of garbage, and we actually take that packaging back so it can be reused or recycled properly. And I think the key thing too is helping people realize that their daily choices create global impact. even something as simple as the product that you choose to brush your teeth with or the mascara that you put on your lashes makes a huge impact. And that they are not just our customers, they're our partners in this mission and in this journey. And with that transparency, you know, as I mentioned to you, all the mistakes we make along the way and all the ways that we realize we can be better, you know, they are such a big part of that. And that is what has allowed us to scale and to grow in the way that we have. And, you know, just with scale as a word, you know, I love, Melanie, how you alluded to this, but the idea that scaling at its essence is being more sustainable, because you can be more efficient. You can get your product into the hand of more people and take out, you know, products from their hands that aren't going to be affecting the world in a positive way. And so bringing your customer base along with you on that journey is just so important. And the way to do it is just to be truthful. And, you know, we don't know everything. We're not doing everything perfectly, but we're trying our best. And you, as our customers, help us make decisions moving forward.
I see Nisha's nodding her head because I'm going to you next, Nisha, because you talked about that exact thing, transparency and vulnerability, and how big of an impact that has as well on your business practices.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, this one has to live in your brand DNA. It has to live in your team DNA. It has to permeate everything that you do. And it really means leaving your ego at the door and just, you know, taking that humility and running with it. And so when you make mistakes as a brand, which we all do, none of us are perfect, you have to own them and you have to be transparent about them and you have to be vulnerable with the customer, because that's actually the part that they respond best to. And I think, you know, we look at us as a brand in the last few years, you know, have we handled everything perfectly? Absolutely not. You know, do we have more ways to go in terms of the way our product performs? Yes. Do we have to do better in terms of our diversity and inclusion initiatives? Absolutely. Do we have to do better in terms of how we respond to, you know, changes in the political and social environment? Yes. These are all things that we know we need to work on. And we're honest with our customers that we're working on it, and we want their guidance and their input to do so, because that is how they become loyal to our brand, is if they feel like they're part of that mission and they're informing that mission. And so for us, that means you've got to go through every comment on social media. You've got to read every review and understand what the customer is saying. I mean, for me, it's even meant standing in an Ulta store and watching customers who haven't bought my product and, like, in a kind of creepy way, going up and asking them, like, why didn't you buy it? I want that honest feedback. I want to understand, you know, what is it about the brand that you love and you don't love, because I want to take that and run with it and use it. So for us, that means that the customer sees that we're evolving and they can do that with us. And then we see that those are the customers that are the first ones to come back when you launch your next product, because they believe in you and they really want to take that chance and buy into what you're selling, versus especially some of the more legacy historic brands that possibly don't have that two-way dialogue with them. And then I'll tell you that sometimes it still won't be enough. Like, especially as you scale, there will be customers that still, you know, aren't happy and they'll say bad things about you. And you have to kind of learn to be okay with that, as long as you are doing what you feel is right for the brand, and you're, again, instilling that in your team, and you're telling your team that it's okay to own those mistakes and, you know, fail fast, fail quickly, and that's okay. But don't take the path of least resistance. You know, take the path of what you believe is right for the brand. And again, that, like, if your customer base sees you making those changes and sees you kind of listening to them, they'll respect that. And that's what we've seen be, you know, reinforced, especially in the last year and a half. You know, we actually asked our customers, like, do you want us to talk about COVID with you? Do you want us to distract you from it? Like, you know, help us have the right conversation with you, help us be relevant for you. And I think that irrespective of how big we get, we're going to do everything we can to hold on to that, because we know that's what our customers are coming back for.
It's just so interesting. We could talk about this for hours too, just how things have changed, because I feel like there's a time where transparency and vulnerability were left at the door, and now more than ever, that's such a huge part of businesses and what allows people to connect, and putting that customer first. And speaking of the customer first approach, because you talked about going to the customer, Nisha, we're all talking about that. Chandra, that was something that you said was so vital for you, and the practices that you take to really put that customer first, to make them feel that their voice matters. Can you elaborate more on that?
Sure. I mean, at the end of the day, if part of our mission is that, you know, this woman, it started with women, but if he, she, or they are always the last, if not never thought of, the least I can do as a brand, or as a participant in the brand, is make sure that he, she, or they always feel like they are seen, heard, and spoken to individually as much as possible. And maybe that is not a scalable method, and that's totally fine. But until I can't, we will continue to respond to absolutely everyone on social, absolutely everyone via email, absolutely everyone who has a bad review, and do our part to either explain where we're coming from, hear them, and provide that feedback to product development or to my team, or to help them along the way. So that is foundation quizzes, 60-second quiz. That is a sample pack for $5 that gives you all 16 shades where you can find your foundation, concealer, and contour, and then letting them know that they get $5 off their first full-size purchase. That's a nude lipstick quiz, in case you're wondering and you're not sure. That's if that doesn't work for you, that is, you know what, sis, send us a photo, we will match you. And then if you still don't like it, send it back for free on us and we will give you the right shade. It's just of the utmost importance that she feel good about herself, because she never felt good before. And for those seasoned women, that's what I call people like my mother's age, for those seasoned women who look at their photos from the 70s and the 80s and they realize, I looked crazy with that blush, and are starting over in that process, we are here for you as well. And we're more than happy to go along the way with you via DMs, etc., until you feel beautiful again.
DM Instagram is a glorious thing for businesses. Chandra, what percentage of your time is spent connecting with your clients on social media? Roughly.
A lot. I mean, I have a team that are on it. We also have a customer service team that helps us with Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. And then I also have a 90% response rate rule. So even if you give us a heart and on an ad or on our feed, you will be getting a response. It might be a heart back. It might be, oh, we love what you're wearing, and but you will get a response from us. And there's money applied to it. I figured out a way to outline how much money I'm actually getting from that customer service. So I'm able to prove it to our founders to kind of continue that.
Yeah, that's great. Innovation. So that leads me to my next subject here. Christine, you mentioned how important creativity, innovation is, especially when you have products that are so mission-based, and you want those products to be clean. You're constantly having to chase innovation and creativity, right?
Yes, definitely. And good or bad, we are all in the marketplace where there's a ton of innovation and creativity every single day. And we love to brainstorm and dream big at Summary and think outside of the box. So we always have a lot of concepts and ideas and prototypes in the works. And sometimes we get ahead of ourselves about, what we're developing. And I think in terms of being, honest and transparent, we always have to take a step back and make sure that we're being honest with ourselves first, and really gut check ourselves. Why are we making this? What is the why behind this product? Are we making it because it's kitschy or it's trending at the moment? But really to believe in all of the pillars behind the product, the quality, the efficacy, the performance, vegan and cruelty free always are non-negotiable. Are we developing it at a price point that's going to be accessible to people? So these are all the things. As much as we might fall in love with a texture or an ingredient, we have to come back to the table and think about, why are we doing this? And if we can check all those boxes and feel really amazing about it, then we go for it, and sky's the limit. And if anything is teetering, then we pull back, because we just say, you know what, less is more. If we're not 110% behind each product we developed, we're not going to launch it just to anniversary your product, or just to make sure we get something out there quarterly or things like that. So our approach is really just fewer, bigger, better products, is a lot more important to us than having a large portfolio of SKUs.
Yes. So, I just want to, we have about 5 minutes left, and we've talked a lot about what's important to each of you in terms of scaling. I just want to let you know, I'm not sure if you're able to see the chat section, but there's a lot of comments about how impressed people are with your products, for all of you, so I just wanted to point that out. Summary products in the discovery box, genius. Versed is phenomenal in every way. I love Mented, love seeing you guys at Ulta. So, and it just goes on with each one of you. And so I think, we talk about that transparency, the vulnerability, the connection with, people, the human connection, and you're doing it, you're making it happen. I want to see if there's any questions on here. Let's see. But as a new founder, how do you engage with the retail partner? Is the direct approach the best? If any of you can please give some advice on that, I would super appreciate it. That's from Hafsa Hasib. So I will just open this up if somebody wants to unmute and we can go from there.
Yeah, I'm happy to chime in. I've led our retail partnerships from day one, day zero. And, I think I recognize that with Verse, we had existing relationships with Target, and we had done a number of apparel brands with them. So I think we came from a place of unique opportunity, but I always advocate for brands owning that retail relationship directly versus going through a broker. That doesn't mean that there isn't a role for a broker in the business, but it's so important that you have that direct one-on-one connection with your buyer and your stakeholder. You will get so much more feedback from them, and they will understand your mission and objective so much better by having that relationship with you guys. So whenever you can, I think, own that one-on-one. I've reached out to buyers on LinkedIn. I've guessed at email addresses, like whatever it needs to take to get through there. I also want to point out that now there's a lot of great opportunities for emerging brands to connect with retailers that haven't existed in the past. Things like incubator programs. I'm advising one emerging brand that's in the men's space, and they have wanted to meet with mass retailers, and they've had success by going through those incubator programs where you get one-on-one time with the buyers. They give you advice on things like how to prepare your supply chain, your fulfillment, which I cannot underscore enough what an important area and what a huge lift that is. So I think recognize where you are. If you have people that can help you make connections. If you're ready to start fulfilling at a scale like that, I say go for it, reach out to those buyers. If you recognize that that's a part of your longer term roadmap, but you're not there today, look at things like incubator programs, accelerators that help you get to the front line of that access and that mentorship while recognizing that, hey, you're not ready to be bought by them today.
I just
Thank
want
you.
to jump in.
Finishing up a cough. Chandra, go ahead.
I just wanted to jump in real quick. We're in Ulta and in Target, so we're in like 1,100 plus stores within a span of, it'll be a year in February. So it's very, very fast. But what I will say is just, I want to score the fact that yes, of course, in most brands roles and long-term planning, you want to get into the retail space, but I just want to suggest that you pause for a second and make sure you got your ducks in a row first. It is no small feat to even be in 40 locations, let alone 1,100, let alone 35, 3,600. And it takes time, and there's a lot of money that's going to go into it beforehand before you even see that money back. So yes, that should be the goal, of course. And yes, you should, go for it, but make sure you're getting all of the pieces of the pie together first so that you're setting yourself up for success. Nothing worse than getting the deal, potentially not being able to fulfill on it, not being able to sustain it. And then financially not being able to keep up with it when it comes down to when they pay.
That's great. Thanks for chiming in, Chandra. Thanks for that. I believe we are at the 11:30 mark. Julia, there you are.
Hi. Wow. I was trying to take notes while everyone was sharing, and there were just so many good things. I can't wait till we're live because I want to have this conversation live on the Founder Meet stage as well. But thank you all so much. Really appreciate it. Great conversation. And it's amazing seeing the chat box and how many people just have questions and are engaged. So thank you all for sharing, looking at all your beautiful faces. And Kristen, thanks so much.